Hello everybody and welcome to this week's CTech Plus and Plus Hour here on Chaos TV. Thank you for joining us today. Now today is Brew Monday, which is a bit of a take on Blue Monday, which is also known as one of the most depressing days of the year. So today we would like to remind people to reach out for a cuppa and a catch up with people who you care about at this difficult time of year. We have lots of information coming up for you today that we hope will inspire you this new year to perhaps make that little change with the help of CTech Plus, of course, who are great at supporting people who may be finding things a little bit challenging. So make sure you have that cuppa in your hand today and stay with us for the next hour. Right, so to kick things off, today, we are pleased to be joined in the studio by Therese Zimmer from the National Careers Service. Hello, Therese.
Hiya, Russ.
Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio today.
My pleasure.
Now, let's jump straight in. I've got lots that I want to ask you about today. Can you start off by sort of telling us a little bit about your role within the National Careers Service?
Right, I'm a careers advisor, so I give out advice and guidance to anybody who's looking for work, wanting to change a career, who's possibly wanting to go back to education. So yeah, it's an unbiased opinion. So I don't. I just give the advice, and then we call them customers. So then the customer can then progress on from the information that I've given them.
Amazing. So what kind of support can the National Career Service provide?
We cover a lot of things, as I say. We'll do skills analysis to help people find their skills. We help create CVs. We look at helping them for interview techniques, give guidance on courses that they can do. It's quite a wide area, and obviously we do sort of, our aim is for the person to either get back into work or successfully change their career.
Yeah, it must be quite a hard, it's probably a hard question for me to ask you because it sounds like you cover such a range of different things, which is great.
Yeah, we have everybody from all walks of life. So it can be anything from mums going back to work, 50 plus trying to find work, people that have got health conditions, disabled people, school leavers once they hit 18 needing advice, university leavers, and along with people that generally are looking how to change their career and
Brilliant.
what direction, what courses they can do and things like that.
Brilliant. Because I was going to ask you, like, who is eligible, but by the sounds of it, it sounds like it is pretty open to.
Yeah, it's
most.
usually 19 plus because I work with
Okay.
the adults. So we offer a face-to-face service ideally, but we can do it for webcam and things like that. But it is a one-to-one service and it's personalised, so it's not generalised. We genuinely ask questions, open and close questions, to find out what the customer actually wants, where they are in their stage of life. So very, very much personalised.
Fantastic. So how can people access this support within their communities?
Obviously, contacting National Careers Direct, that can be done by going onto our webpage, as well as the job centres quite often have a careers advisor in there. You can pop in and ask them to book you an appointment. But obviously, if you contact our main site, it does put you in contact with one of us.
Brilliant. And are you able to sort of explain what the process is of, for example, so once someone's made contact with you guys, how does that support sort of continue?
Right, on the initial appointment, as I say, we sit down with them and we discuss what their needs are. We then write out an action plan so that they know where they're going. And then we try to contact them regularly just to see how they're doing, see if they need more support, because we cover things like interview techniques. And people do sometimes change direction even after they've spoken to us. They each will, when they receive their action plan, do get our email address and our telephone number, so they can always contact us. And quite a few of my customers do often come back to me asking for extra support, which is what we do. So
Seems nice that you sort of, it's not just you make a one-time appointment and then it's followed through. You really are sort of supporting throughout the whole process.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, if you're unemployed, our aim is to support you along with the other providers that are out there. Myself, in particularly, I went for a career change. As you can see, I'm quite mature. And I rang National Careers, had an appointment. They helped me create my CV, put me in contact with a few areas for retraining, and the first job I went to, I got the job. So a lot of my customers are actually come back and say how successful and thank us. So we can offer and put you in touch with trainers. And sort of let you know what sort of companies are out there that you can look up information and how to apply for work.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about confidence, because a lot of people that maybe potentially find themselves out of work, it may be due to sort of a lack of confidence, or they've just got themselves sort of out of the loop a little bit. How can the National Careers Service offer support when it comes to confidence?
Again, it's us giving a personalised service. So it's chatting to the customer, seeing what their skills are, helping them and giving them the skills to progress. Obviously, there are quite a few support groups out there, and we are able to refer people, or we can give them the contact details where they can self-refer. And again, this is all adding to their success in going. As I say, nobody is turned away. We're here to support everybody once you're over 19 or 18 and you're on benefits. We can support you then. So, or in our division. I know careers is offered to 13-year-olds, but I think that's mainly done over the telephone.
Right. Got ya. And what about people who maybe have sort of some additional needs? They maybe need a little bit of extra help, whether that's because they have a disability or something like that. Is that an area that you support as well?
Yeah, again, we do have contact with providers that can give even more expertise help. And again, if you go onto our National Careers page, there is actually a big section giving advice on the various disabilities and lots of links. And I do suggest to customers when they come through to me to make sure they click on the links and then they can then contact people via the links or, sort of support groups and everything. So yeah, we have quite a wide, quite a lot of advice and guidance on people finding work or training with disabilities.
Great. And sometimes I think for people it's almost needing that little bit of extra support, just a little push in the right direction. Nothing major, but just taking that first step, isn't it? Of
It
talking.
is, and talking to us. Often, I always say to my customers, you might go out with a little skip, because we have given them good advice. We sit there and sometimes we are a little bit of an agony aunt, but we point them to the direction where they can, with our help, create their CV, practice doing job interviews, filling in application forms, all the things that we get nervous about.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I've had a fair few customers that do come back regularly and say, yeah, I'm working, I didn't think I would get it. And yeah, just a general well-being chit-chat
Yeah.
boosts them.
Yeah. And is the demand at the moment currently quite high? Like, is there a lot of sort of unemployment out there?
It's, yeah, although we support the unemployed, again, we're busy with that. We're also busy with people wanting to change careers and progressing careers, because that's another area.
Yeah.
So they might already be in a job, but they want advice on how to progress further. And again, we can look at the training that they need, have a look to see what courses are available with the colleges, what funding's available. So yeah, we encourage everybody really that to come and speak to us, whatever your career state is in.
Yeah.
As I say, I certainly benefited.
Yeah, I think that probably also definitely must help and reassure people to know that you yourself have got that personal experience. You've been through it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows it more than you do.
No.
Which must make it easier for you to support people, because you're like, I've been there, I've done it.
It is, and it is from the personal experiences. Fortunate for me, I've worked, and I have a lot of knowledge in a lot of sectors. So I know, which most careers advisors will, we know what the job is entailed, so we can talk to the customer what sort of things they'll be doing in that job, what training they might need. We sort of guide them to short courses that is a qualification that they can add onto their CV.
Yeah.
And if we're supporting somebody that hasn't worked for a long time or has been struggling, we encourage volunteering as well.
It's a great way, isn't it?
That boosts confidence and gets them mixing with teams. And basically, as you know, you can get offered a role just through volunteering.
Yeah, it's a great way to sort of get your foot initially in the door and almost prove yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
and obviously, it's something to put on your CV.
yes.
People sort of don't tend to think that because they volunteered that it's information to put on, but it is, because again, you're gaining skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And what has obviously you get a lot of positive feedback from this. What is the feedback? Must be nice for you to hear these positive stories.
Oh, yeah, especially, as I say, we have people come through from all walks of life, whether they've just left school, whether they've been homeless, whether they've been made redundant and absolutely petrified of going out. And it's just chatting to them, building their confidence and giving them the skills. Obviously, we take them to the National Careers webs page and we'll go through and show them each section so that after they finish talking to us, they can go away and read the information and digest the information that's on the page, giving them the skills to apply for work.
Is that the best way people can contact then? Sort of final note, how can people really sort of get in touch?
By ringing the telephone number, which is, can I find it?
Yeah, we've got the contact details we can share.
Then. Yes, the 0800 100 900, where you will speak to an advisor who will then direct you and put you forward for an appointment. Sometimes he'll do the advice over the phone on a webcam. So there's lots of ways that we can chat to you.
Perfect.
But it is the 0800 number that's
Amazing.
the best.
Therese, thank you so much for joining us in the studio
you for
today
having me.
and for sharing all the amazing work you guys get up to. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Now, the Plus team has been providing its social prescribing service since 2018 and has supported thousands of people throughout Cornwall. Recently, John from the marketing team caught up with Natalie and Kate from the Plus social prescribing team for a walk in the woods to reflect on their very successful social prescribing service.
Hi Natalie.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good. So nice to see you.
What a beautiful day.
It's lush, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so nice here. It's a favourite meeting spot.
Definitely. Just thinking, it's been crazy, hasn't it, over the last 4 years, like since we started social prescribing.
I know, can you remember that first day and we were like deers and headlights and not sure what to expect?
Oh,
and
very much so.
there was just so much to sort out and so much to set up.
It's crazy how far we've grown since we started back in 2018, isn't it? Being in those surgeries,
Incredible.
getting it all set up.
Who would have thought that a walk in the woods like this would be part of our social prescribing offer, and we just take to GP surgeries and introduce all this well-being to patients and getting out into nature and doing activities you enjoy. It's been
Just
such
amazing, isn't it? Like being able to offer people stuff that is free and not having to give them medication
Yeah.
to deal with their problems.
So do you think now people really understand what social prescribing is 4 years later?
I'd like to think they do, but I mean, it's something that's forever growing, isn't it? I mean, I definitely know so much more about social prescribing now. I didn't back then,
And I guess it's in lots of surgeries now. It's all over the county, actually all over the country.
yeah, it's fantastic that it's all across the nation now, isn't it?
It's everywhere. It's brilliant. It's such a good initiative. And it's just getting people to feel better and connect with things they enjoy.
Can you guess how many people have been supported over the last 4 years?
Well, I guess now the team's grown. Have we reached 1,000?
It's probably double that, about 2,000 I think it is now.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? To think of how many people have come through the service and been supported.
It's phenomenal to know that we've helped that amount of people. What's been your favourite moment over these 4 years?
I think there's been many moments, but I guess just seeing individuals coming away from the sessions feeling happier, more supported, just their well-being numbers increasing
Growth
has
of
been
individuals
incredible.
has been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, what about you?
I think mine had to be, well, going to wind it back to 2019 when we were in Falmouth with those 60 community groups on the pier in Falmouth. Having that
community
launch
day.
event. Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? Such
Yeah.
a fantastic day and a real buzz to start off social prescribing.
Getting everyone together.
It was amazing.
Right, do you fancy a coffee?
Yeah, I think it's much more fun.
Yeah. And
No, thank you.
I'll have a latte, please. No, thanks. That's great.
Anything else for you?
No, that's it, thank you.
610 then, please.
Should we just sit down over there?
Yeah, let's grab that bench. The community group support has been fantastic for social prescribing, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think just getting to know all the groups and services and being able to refer people to such a wide range of activities like gardening groups, walking groups, we've got counselling services, got different art groups and people connecting.
The directory really has grown, hasn't it, in
Yeah.
terms of what we can offer to individuals for their needs, hasn't it? There's
And I
so
think-
much out there.
I think we just got to be so grateful to those groups because they provided so much support and all the volunteers and people that make it happen.
I think it was fantastic that even during COVID we were able to adapt the services, weren't we, to be able to
Yeah.
continue to offer the support.
Yeah, we were all working from home, but I guess we did lots of telephone support and lots of the groups adapted as well to offer things online, lots of digital support and making sure people weren't feeling so isolated.
Social prescribing is now across the nation. The next time you go to see your GP, you might be referred a walk in the woods or to one of the community groups. Social prescribing is so fantastic, it's grown.
Really nice to reminisce with you. Cheers.
Brilliant stuff there. And if you are interested in finding out more about social prescribing, you can contact Plus on 0800 334 5525, or you can email us at customer.admin@plus.org.uk, and that's plus with 2 S's. The details will also be running across the bottom of the screen throughout this feature. Now, we all know getting out in the fresh air is great for our mental health and well-being, and nobody would agree more than health and well-being coaches Kat and Kerry from the Mental Health Opportunities team at Plus.
This is Teignmouth in South Devon. A lovely sunny autumn day in October, ideal for a stroll and a catch-up between two work colleagues.
Nice to see you. Ages. How have you been? Yeah, I've been all right.
Kat and Kerry are both employment support workers for Plus Opportunities, a free service for residents of Torbay, Teignbridge and parts of the South Hams. In their roles, Kat and Kerry provide support to people experiencing poor mental health or stress-related illnesses to achieve their aspirations towards work. But today, the pair are enjoying the sun and each other's company and contemplating some of the complexities of mental health.
So it's like when you've hurt your knee, you put a bandage on it, people know you've hurt your knee. It's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, of
but with
course.
mental health, it's people don't know. If you keep smiling,
I think it's so hidden, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not something that anybody can see or anybody can think about unless you tell them. So I guess it's really important to keep lines of communication
Yeah.
open, to talk,
absolutely.
to be honest about how
Yeah.
you're feeling.
Reach out. If we're not feeling good and somebody asks you, Kat, how are you feeling today? Are you not feeling great? Then just let them know, just let them in.
It's very British, isn't it?
Very much so.
And it's so difficult, I guess, because it doesn't just affect one particular type of person, does it? I guess it affects everybody.
I mean, we do this every day, day in, day out. I mean, how do you help your customers?
I guess for me it's about, and I also for my own lived experiences as well, is just to reach out and to talk to people. Get support where you can if you've got family and friends, or
Yeah.
if you haven't, to reach out to someone maybe professional or a peer support group that can help.
Yeah,
And also just be really kind to yourself.
yeah. Everybody's hard on themselves, aren't they, these days? And yeah, be kind. And
There's another thing that I tend to say as well. It's about thinking, being and doing. Because sometimes we spend too much time thinking, which makes us anxious.
yeah,
Sometimes we spend a little bit too much time being, which can make us depressed.
yeah,
And sometimes we can spend too much time doing things, which causes burnout. So if we spend equal time in each area, we can help to balance you out a little bit more.
And also having things to look forward to. I think it's really important, because sometimes we are like hamsters in a wheel, and I think it's really important to go to classes or just to walk like what we're doing today. I mean,
This is amazing.
This is amazing.
You know, a little bit of sea therapy.
And a catch up and that connectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 ways to well-being, isn't it?
There you go.
So, you know, getting a little bit of activity,
Yeah.
getting your connectivity, you're learning.
Yeah.
Yes, learning something new always helps. So giving and noticing what's going on around you, being present. Is really important. So if you feel that you might be struggling with your mental health at any time, and you feel that you need to
Reach out to Plus Opportunities. We're a small team and we cover Teignbridge and South Devon.
It's been so lovely to see you. Not leaving it so long next
Yeah, definitely. Can I have a hug? Oh. Bye now. See you.
Oh, big thanks to Kat and Kerry there. Now, perhaps you have made that big leap into employment, but you feel like you still need a little bit of support, and perhaps even your employer needs some advice about your new appointment. The Access to Work and Work Fit programs are services available through the Work and Health programme, and we recently caught up with a couple of people who have been supported through this scheme. Let's hear their stories now.
So WorkFit is once CTEC Plus and the employment coaches have got participants' jobs, if they feel that that participant needs a little bit of extra help and support for their mental well-being, then they get WorkFit involved. We get a referral, so like Simon was referred to me. I then make an initial phone call with Simon, see what his barriers are, what he needs help with, and then we work along a plan of helping him beat those barriers. So it's all about a holistic style approach to giving someone a better mental health and well-being.
Fantastic. It sounds like a all-rounded support then. What kinds of individual needs may some participants need help with?
So a lot of it is self-confidence, anxieties about going into work, which is something Simon has struggled with himself, with anxiety before he goes to work. So it's about giving him grounding or participants grounding techniques where we can control those anxieties so it doesn't become a barrier and stop them from going to work. But lots of participants suffer with all different types of anxieties, and you've got to treat each one individual.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's such a broad spectrum. It's almost, there's not a one size fits all. It has to be almost person centered. I presume.
Absolutely. So, and the good thing with WorkFit, myself with Simon, we phone every week, and we can have up to an hour to talk. Me and Simon generally 20 minutes to 30 minutes talking about everything that's going on in the week, what we can do, take the positives out of it, reinforce those positives, what Simon's done. And again, each participant is different. So and we've got a good amount of time to give these people.
Fantastic. So other than sort of maybe a little bit of anxiety support, what other sort of support, is there any other sort of?
So we link up a lot with other organisations, some that CTEC Plus run, so BBO and things like that, but we also link up with local organisations such as Andy's Man Club if people are feeling a little bit low. There's Women's Wellbeing Club, Man Down, which is down here in Cornwall, and it's about finding those local connections where outside of CTEC they can get support elsewhere in their communities.
Sounds a really great project. And how long does this project run for usually?
So it's recently just changed. Our new format is a participant will be with us for 16 weeks. If we feel that participant needs a little bit longer, we can ask our TL or business manager for an extension on that for 4 to 6 weeks. But generally, it's 16 weeks.
Okay. That's nice to know, and that's important, isn't it? Because some people might need a little bit extra support.
That's right.
You can't. Once you've got a time limit pressure, support shouldn't just stop, should it?
No, absolutely. So we don't tell the participants that it's 16 weeks. We'll then ask for the extra time needed off RTL if we feel that participant needs that extra little bit.
Yeah. And self-confidence and life skills, obviously so important. How do these also help people maintain employment?
So with self-confidence comes self-belief, and if you can go into work confidently that you're doing your job in a good manner, and people in your workplace are acknowledging that you're doing your job in a good manner, that will just build on confidence naturally. So someone like Simon, who doesn't have a lot of self-confidence, has quite regular emails from nurses going to his boss saying how well he's doing, and it's just trying to reinforce to Simon that the job that he's doing is good, and he should take pride in everything that he's doing.
Absolutely. Simon, obviously want to bring you into the conversation. Now, obviously you have worked alongside Adam on the WorkFit project. How has Adam's support benefited you?
It's great to have someone to talk to. When there's problems at work, I can speak to him, and I know I've got to see him the next week, and I think that's kept me in work. When I've thought about this is tough, or I'm thought about quitting, there's the support there. I've been given techniques to use, so to deal with different things at work or problems with people at work, or because I've been struggling to stay in paid employment long term. Right. So I've been taught techniques or reframing things, or even things like suggestions, or why didn't you go out for a meal this week, or why did like the positive side, so to deal with work, and so it's not just work and nothing else in my life. So
yeah, that sounds fantastic. And in terms of that sort of anxiety support as well, have you found that this has really helped you?
Very much so, yeah. Having someone to talk to, say sometimes it's even been before my shift, so having someone to speak to is great, especially someone who knows about different jobs, and it's been great, yeah.
And this has really sort of helped you, I presume, to maintain
yeah, my
work.
Current job I've been in for 7 months, and I'm staying in it, and the goal is to do a year and then see how I feel. But it's been great having the support and someone to ring and text, and just to keep going in work. So
yeah, sometimes it is, isn't it? It's just having someone to talk to, maybe if you've had a bad day or a bit of a vent, and a bit of a, we all come home from work sometimes and you want to have a bit of a rant, but it takes someone maybe from an outside just to help you talk through those emotions, isn't it? That's really good.
Yeah, very, very much so. It's quite easy to come home and not say anything and whatever, but being able to speak about it, and Adam's got different experience of different types of work, so he knows about the different problems I have, so it's been great having someone there just to keep me in work and to keep me going really concerning work. So
fantastic. And for anyone who's maybe watching today and they're thinking they might be in a similar situation to yourself, what advice would you give them, or would you recommend this scheme?
There is support out there, even if some support you might not think might be suited to you. I'd make the most of it and try it and get whatever you can and see the best in it, and it's certainly a lot better than saying no to things and struggling. If you get support, and it's great, and just be positive and keep going and try these things. So
definitely. Brilliant stuff. Well, obviously, Simon, thank you for sharing your story with us, and Adam for your work as well and the support throughout.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks, Ross.
So, hello, my name's Yvonne Street. I'm the WorkFit coach. I'm part of the WorkFit program. And with me today is Ashley, who was one of my participants. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
Can we just start this conversation really by you telling me why you were referred to WorkFit originally before we met each other?
Yes, certainly. Well, I am a mental health patient. I've been having mental health problems since about 1992. And although my diagnosis isn't schizophrenia, I have many symptoms of schizophrenia. I hear voices and I hallucinate. And I have a tendency towards that, particularly when I'm suffering from stress or anxiety. And the reason I was referred to the WorkFit programme was because I'd done something that I have done, I'm afraid to say, and I'm really ashamed about this, but it is part of, having a mental health condition, unfortunately. I'd walked out of yet another job when my mental health just could not cope anymore with the stress or the atmosphere. So I was having an episode. I'd left the job, signed on at the job centre, and their gift, if you like, to me was to refer me to WorkFit. And I got a job within a couple of weeks of signing on, and that was when the phone calls from you started, just as I was about to start the job.
Was it explained to you what WorkFit was, and did you feel you needed that extra support that you hadn't had when you've been at previous jobs?
Yes, so it was explained by the job centre that WorkFit could be really good for me, and so I was still in that place where I didn't feel fit to work, but I was totally open to the phone calls. I started really looking forward to your phone calls, and I thought that the timing of it was absolutely perfect because I was in this episode, but I was also starting a new job because that was the job centre's, fast machine working. That's what they try to do. And I thought, well, okay, so I'm going to have these phone calls from WorkFit. I was totally open to it, and I just wanted to see, what would happen, and be open to the help, really.
From our point of view, we work remotely, as you know, so it's all telephone calls.
Yeah.
So did you feel that it's very important to us to actually work remotely with people in a wide area, but also it's a holistic approach. So we're not just interested in your work and going to work and how you're going to get to work.
Yes.
It is that arm around you in all areas.
Yes.
So do you feel that you were able to get that from WorkFit? Do you think it offered you that all-round support?
Yvonne, absolutely, yes. And I've said this, I know, to you and the organisation before, that the help was absolutely phenomenal. I was in a place where I couldn't even foresee myself having another job. I was 59, I'm 60 now, and I didn't feel that I would ever get back into the workplace. I thought my mental health problems were such that I couldn't get there. And I was thinking of, my intention had been just to research getting PIP and being on PIP for the rest of my life until I could get my pension, my state pension, basically. That was what I thought was my future, and I couldn't foresee another future. But being open to WorkFit was a blessing. It was a gift for me because, first of all, we had a rapport straight away, which was lovely. You're very human, you're very warm, and you've got a lovely sense of humour. And all of those things really mattered to me because it enabled me to have a bond with you. Mm-hmm. So I was totally open to the experience. And I felt that having those phone calls every 10 days, as it roughly worked out, it was like having a little goal to aim towards. So I would think, I can't wait for Yvonne to call me again because I can tell her that I've been okay. I can tell her that I've been coping. I can tell her that I haven't been sliding into psychosis. I haven't been panicking, I haven't been really, really insecure and weepy, and all of those things that I was at the beginning when I first signed on at the job centre. I was able to say to you every 10 days when you called that I hadn't been those things, Yeah.
And it's very important, like I said, because it's the holistic approach.
Yes.
Then I was just as interested to make sure that your social side is.
Yes.
And I recall we've had some very strange phone calls.
Yeah.
I'm a slightly eccentric person maybe, but we've had some strange phone calls about you walking to lampposts. Out of work, totally out of work.
Yeah.
And you do recall them, don't you?
I do. We had...
Oh, it was lovely because I'd said to you, because obviously because it's holistic, the approach of WorkFit, it looks at the whole person. It doesn't just look at the symptoms of mental ill health and specifically, you know, how have you been coping at work? What are your challenges at work? It's not like that at all. It's the whole person. And I'd said to you that there had been a time a few months prior to that when I'd been walking 3 miles a day, and the endorphins from that was really good for my brain. It was really good for my mental health. And I said that I hadn't been able to do that because I'd put on a lot of weight. So it was like a paradise lost to me. I wanted to get back to that state where I could do the walking and feel good about myself. And you'd said, and I loved this, I really did, and it just shows how hands-on and realistic WorkFit are. You said, right, Aisling, what I suggest is you walk 4 lampposts. And I thought, yeah, that's such a good idea, because a lamppost is like half the length of a block, really. And I thought that is such a good idea. I'll walk 4 lampposts and then do that for a few days and then walk 5 lampposts and build it up gradually. And that was really good for me, because it taught me that the expectations that I have for myself they cause depression, because I will have the expectation of getting back to walking 3 miles a day, and that is an unrealistic expectation given, you know, the weight I am, and that causes depression. If you have unrealistic expectations, that can be a cause of depression. And now whenever I see a lamppost, I think about you, and it always puts a smile on my face. It genuinely does, because it was just one of those lovely little human, affectionate touches and that was typical of those phone calls. They were full of, you know, lovely, genuine human touches.
I noticed during our calls over a number of months that I could actually hear in your voice.
Yes.
It felt like you had changed.
Yes.
I don't know how much you could sort of felt that yourself, but in our calls, the calls changed. You were more confident.
Yes.
And you became much happier. So
you're absolutely right. That was really perceptive, because I could feel that happening as well. I mean, when I looked back over those 3 or 4 months of phone calls, and I went from the state of psychosis that I was in when I signed on at the job centre to feeling calm, feeling happy, having that kind of gentle, quiet confidence that's just right for a job, because it makes you able to take on board new information. You don't want to be emotionally too heightened at the start of a new job, because it's just that little bit too stressful, really.
But we also talked about your anxieties. So you had someone to talk about your anxieties, about that whole learning process and the new job.
That's right.
And I know I said to you before, if you look back on where you were later on, sometimes you need to look back to see where you were, to realise just how far you've come along, don't you?
That's right.
And whereabouts would you say you are now in your life? How has WorkFit helped you to get to where you are?
Yes, well, it was perfect for me, because it coincided with the very, very beginning of the job, right at the beginning. And the first few weeks, the first 2 months basically were all training, and I was still having the phone calls from you during that period, and then they extended slightly beyond the period of the training. So it really came at a perfect time, and the support was phenomenal. It was very it was very nurturing. You were asking after me, you were attentive, you wanted to check that I was okay, that I was coping okay. And so it gradually just built up my confidence, 1, in doing the job, and 2, in being able to just cope with life generally. And I've maintained that feeling of sort of quiet confidence, and I've maintained that since, and I've not really slipped back at all. So I'm really grateful to WorkFit for what they've put into me, and I've carried it with me, and it's been a lovely experience.
Good. I'm really glad that it's worked out so well for you, and we know you've got so much to look forward to in the future.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for talking to us today.
It's a
Aisling.
pleasure. Thank you.
thank you to Simon and Aisling there for sharing their stories. I particularly love the lamppost story as well. Now, the Restart Scheme is another programme CTEC Plus offers which can help people build their confidence and enhance skills on their employment journey. Chaos TV caught up with the Restart team in Lowestoft at their recent Health and Wellbeing Fair.
What kind of support is there available through the Restart Scheme?
There's various courses. So we offer in-house courses. So we offer things like interview skills, techniques for people that are kind of at that stage of potentially getting an interview. We do wellbeing courses through Read to improve anxiety, depression, mood management, healthy lifestyle, so healthy eating and drinking. So there's a wide range of courses that we can offer.
It's interesting because these are skills, aren't they, as well as, you know, a lot of people think they're your run-of-the-mill everyday things that everybody can do. It's not always the case. These are skills, you know, a lot of them transferable as well, and a lot of them real-life application.
And it's our job to improve those skills, or maybe even give participants the skills if they haven't got them already. So the job is variable.
Could be anything.
Every day is different.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what's again, I know you can't pinhole into one or pigeonhole it there. What's the typical journey for a participant that's looking for support through the Restart Scheme?
So first appointment is gathering kind of what barriers there are, and then it's kind of step by step. The most common one is anxiety, because if you've not been in work for a long time, going back into work is scary. So we would kind of signpost to relevant courses or relevant organisations like the Wellbeing Service, and then it's about kind of seeing where the participant is after that, and then choosing the next step after that until we get to a point where they're ready to go into work.
So have you noticed an increase in, like you say, people, obviously the popularity of the anxiety support and things like this, have you noticed an increase over the past couple of years, or 12 months even?
It surprised me how many people suffer with anxiety, if I'm honest. So yes, I probably have noticed an increase. I don't think COVID's helped that as well. A lot of people were obviously indoors for a vast amount of time. So yeah, I have noticed a massive increase.
There's a definite increase there.
Absolutely.
So again, more valuable is the support that you're giving, really.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Oh no, I can believe it. Trust and believe it. Don't worry, I can see it out there.
I hope so.
So Mo, onto yourself now. So how would you say you look after the team when it comes to well-being? Because it's all well and good looking after participants and whatnot, and that's great, and that's, you know, what we're all working towards, but also the team's well-being is incredibly important to help support that. You know, you can't help others until you've helped yourself a lot of the time.
Absolutely, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you need to look after yourself to be able to look after other people, and I think it's important to have a team of people who feel looked after, cared about. I personally want to make sure that I'm there for my team, and hopefully the team are there for each other as well. It's important to have a bit of fun in the office where you can, because we spend a lot of time going through a lot of sensitive issues. It can get quite difficult and challenging, but also very rewarding. And I think sharing those rewards is really important to make sure that we're all doing the right thing for the right people and growing ourselves, really.
I think it's about being able to have that open discussion, especially with yourself.
100%, yeah.
As an employee, just to know that you can talk and feel and have these discussions, which are sometimes very hard for people to have. You know, it's very hard to open up. It's that very first door to get through, just to say, look, I'm having problems with this, and to just say, have yourself be approachable for them.
Absolutely.
So if you have a participant comes in and they're feeling particularly nervous, particularly anxious, how would you go of supporting them? Is there any steps you would take in that sense?
Yeah, well, we have some smaller breakout rooms in the office for people, like Lee said about anxiety. Some people don't like sharing their inner details with a lot of people around, so we have rooms that we take them in for a bit of privacy. I suppose the important thing from the beginning is trying to show that actually the office itself is a comfortable environment. Everyone there is going through the same sort of things, albeit slightly different. But everyone is in it together, doing the right thing, wanting the same end goal. And we've got quite a lot of evidence in our office and the others in the area where people have come in from the beginning and you can see that they're clearly nervous, they're clearly struggling, and then they come out themselves. And obviously the end goal with someone getting into work, ideally within 12 months, they've grown, they've become a better person than they were at the start of it. And that's what it's all about, really taking them on their journey. But I think make sure that they feel comfortable when they come in and see us, and we're all happy and smiling again, going on from the first question. If we're all enjoying ourselves and wanting to make it a fun place to come, then they all want to come to us and they won't feel so nervous anymore.
So I think it's, you showcase that you are also individuals. It's not corporate. It's not this rat race or anything like this. It's not this big scary building. And it can be quite daunting at times, can't it? But there are people in there, real people, very much like themselves. And I think that's what's important, that message to get across, that, look, a lot of people have the same problems here, and it's about sharing these, accomplishments and these goals, and all working together for that same goal.
Absolutely. And some of us have, to be fair. It's been really good because we've all got our own backgrounds, we've all got our own experiences. We can use that to help other people and show a bit of empathy and, like I say, help people on their journey.
This is it. It's what we're all about here, isn't it,
Absolutely.
as well?
Brilliant stuff there. And that is it. That is all we have time for today, I'm afraid. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us here on Chaos TV for our Brew Monday feature. As you have heard today, there is a breadth of support for mental health and well-being with CTEC Plus and Plus. And as you have seen today, they can be really helpful to help you in getting your life back on track. Another fantastic service which we should mention is, of course, the Samaritans, who offer free and confidential support. You can contact them day or night, 24 hours a day on 116 123. And this number doesn't show up on your bills or on your phone at all. You can also email them at joe@samaritans.org. That's just JO@samaritans.org. And if you go to their website, which is www.samaritans.org, you can even speak to someone through their digital chat, which is another fantastic service available. And of course, you can contact us here at Chaos TV. We can signpost you to all these amazing organisations and pass on any details. So yes, please do get in contact with us here at Chaos. You can call us on 01872 228844, or you can email us hello@thisischaos.co.uk, or if it's easier for you, we are also on social media at Chaos TV UK. Now, if you would like to catch up on anything you have seen today, then remember you can rewatch all of CTEC Plus's content on their YouTube channel. Just search CTEC Plus or Plus on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe whilst you're there. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you soon.